Why do a lot of very buff guys eat a lot of rice? The whole chicken broccoli rice trope. Isn't rice just empty calories? A reason I'm not seeing in the comments yet. It's really easy to cook, measure, and calculate. Most people who are health-minded, body-conscious, fit enough to count calories all the time want it to be as easy as possible. Since meal prep is a chore you do every single week, they know the carbs, fats, proteins they need each week and can go, okay, X amount of rice, X amount of chicken, X amount of avocado, done. Carbs are not inherently bad. Consuming extra energy and then not using it is how weight gain happens. No, rice is not empty calories. It's a complex carbohydrate and gives energy for things like exercise. Rice has a decent amount of protein, fiber, and a few key minerals such as magnesium and potassium. It's a very healthy source of carbs, and far from empty calories. Rice is good for you. It's a good source of carbs. Brown rice has lots of fiber in it. It has no sugar, no fat. It's the same reason professional athletes eat like a pound of pasta before exertion. Your body gets the most energy out of carbs. It's bizarre to me how rice has been demonized and people say it does all this awful shit to you, when literally half the planet's population is scarfing down massive amounts of it daily. And it's the healthier half of our population. Same with bread. Americans demonize carbs. Meanwhile, everyone in Europe, Asia, and South America is eating a carb-heavy diet every day and somehow much healthier than us. Rich in carbs, which helps replenish muscle and liver glycogen stores, leading to faster recovery after working out. What's empty calorie? It's energy. And that's what people need to live. It's only bad if you eat too much. Billions of people live on rice daily. It's not about the nutritional content. It's because it's cheap, easy to buy in bulk, easy to cook, and works well for prepping meals in advance, which is what a lot of heavy lifters do. Empty calories is a good thing when you are trying to gain muscle. You need to be in a calorie surplus. It can be surprisingly hard to eat 4,000 calories in all healthy food every day. Rice is just a healthy filler in my opinion and goes better with tasteless foods like chicken, broccoli, carrots, etc. Bread provides the same benefits that rice does, but when it comes to weight loss and blood sugar management, rice is a better choice. Which is probably why buff guys would use rice over bread. Muscle mass requires energy to fuel workouts that maintain it. Rice is an excellent, readily available, versatile, and cheap source of carbs. What does empty calories even mean? Every food is made up of carbs, fat, or protein. There's literally no food that doesn't provide some sort of nutrition. There's so much misinformation about food. It really should be a mandatory class in school. The only thing that makes calories empty is if you're not exercising, so if guys are really buff, then they are using those calories. Rice is a good source of carbs, energy, is easily digestible, and cheap. IDK if you've ever gone a bulk. But that grocery bill can stack up. Most rice is enriched, so not empty calories. Rice is a whole grain. It's fairly low calorie density. It's also super cheap for those who need to eat a ton. I have a buddy who does heavy lifting. He's a big boy and eats chicken, broccoli, and rice every day, every single week. He said he was eating like 2 ounces of rice a meal and felt horrible. He upped it to 6 ounces or something like that and immediately felt much better. His body needed the carbs to have any energy. Rice is one of the best carbs you can eat. And it's relatively cheap. Sort of, yay. But the chicken and broccoli provide your other nutrients, so that's what you need. It mixes well with chicken and broccoli. Do you even lift, bro? Cheap, relatively clean carbs. Rice is carbs, but you burn it off if you're working out all the time. It's basically energy. Carbs, bro. Because you want a lot of carbs to get big and buff, and white rice is cheap, easy to digest, and all carbs. Rice is great for when I want to eat 10,000 of something. Rice, especially white rice, is great for restoring your blood sugar quickly after working out. That's also why Gatorade has sugar in it. To be big, you need calories. Because to put on muscle you need a lot of protein and carbs. And rice provides a lot of cheap carbs. It depends on what kind of rice you eat. 1. Easy to digest. 2. Lots of carbs, calories for energy and bulking up. 3. Easy to prepare. 4. Don't know how, or too lazy to cook other things. 5. Pairs great with protein. Yummy. It's a quick and easy, simple carb source. Not that hard to understand. There is no such thing as empty calories. One of the most common mistakes bodybuilders make is not eating enough carbs. You are burning much more energy than normal people or when you do heavy lifting on a regular basis, and you need expendable energy. The thing about fat and protein is they take much longer to burn and process into energy than just straight carbs. When I was in off-season, I consumed 700,800 grams of carbs to keep glycogen levels high. Carbs are really anabolic at huge doses. Helps put on a ton of size. I stuck to mostly rice because my body responds very well to it and digests it quickly. Eating the same amount of carbs in sweet potatoes would keep me stuffed all day. The type of rice is marginal difference at best. Except white rice, which has pretty much processed its way out of being worth a damn. I stick to brown, basmati, and jasmine, all equally delicious. Protein is complicated. Complex carbs are complicated. Your needs are complicated. Carbs fill up muscles. I like the way it tastes. Except, I'm buff-bellied. You need carbs. A lot. To max out your performance in gym. In simplistic terms, carbs is your fuel. Protein is your building block. What does empty calories mean to you? One thing I realized with rice is that when you intake carbs in general, they give better pumps and energy. Muscles are 70 water. The suffix hydrate in carbohydrate means it hydrates the muscle because the glycogen in the carbs pulls water into the muscle, making it look buff. So you actually need a good amount of carbs and protein if you want to build muscle and keep it. That as well as a high-intensity training plan. This thread is a goddamn abortion. Rice beans complete protein. It is a low GI complex carb which doesn't send their insulin to the moon but also gives plenty of glycogen to refuel the muscles. Rice is preferred over potato, which is also not terrible, and obviously over grains and corn, because of their inflammatory properties and also their effect on blood sugar. Have you ever seen a sign saying corn-fed beef? Grain-fed chickens? It is because those things increase the fat content, which makes it more tasty. You will never see a rice-fed beef sign. Carbs are the first nutrient your body uses to create energy, aka ATP, that every single cell in your body uses as a sort of currency. If your body doesn't have carbs to make energy, it will go to fat. This is good if you have excess stored. Then to muscle proteins. You don't want this. Athletic people tend to have a lower body fat content, so they tend to need carbs to keep their fats and protein equilibrium satisfied to their liking.